Hickok 45 here. Looks like I broke my gun. Well, actually, it's just a part, right? I can probably figure out how to put it back together. And you already know what it is. It is, yes, Desert Eagle from Magnum Research. It's the Desert Eagle 1911C. It says right there on the slide, kind of for compact, I guess. It's the Commander, or for Commander. It's the Commander size 1911. They've been around a while. The difference is you got a bull barrel on this baby, and you got a full-length guide rod. And what I was going to show you, I just took it down before we started. Well, let me start while it's clean and just show people sort of the inside. And it's a Series 70. There's no firing pin block, as you see there. And I'm going to show you that. See it? I'm not going to take the spring out. It dawned on me, oh no, I got to capture the spring because it's crazy. You know, full-length guide rod, you know, and they provide this to do it with, or you can use a paper clip or whatever. But I hate full-length guide rods. And but I wanted to show you the firearm really seems smooth and not a lot of tool marks because it's not an expensive firearm. And I think you can get them for around $800. So, you know, for under $1,000, this thing doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. So I can get it back on there. Well, I've got it apart. Why don't I put a little shot of juice on it? But it's I've been shooting it three different times, and I think I can grab it like this and get it back together if I'm really smart about it without, you know, capturing that spring. And so far I've been impressed. It's a nice 1911. It really is. And of course I got it from Bud's, borrowed it from them because you all have asked me about it. But this thing is impressive. That's all I can say. Bottom line is, okay, so video's over. I like it. And I'll probably keep saying for the money, but you know, really, it just seems like a good gun. Unless you know something about it, I don't know, which is probably a lot, or you have had a lot of experience with one and all the parts have broken on it or something, and you're not from the competition, you know, let us know. But this thing, you know, you got I think it's 25 lines per inch, nice checkering there. You got an aluminum mainspring housing. You got the straight mainspring housing, the high right beaver tail. All the basic stuff that I like on a 1911. If I'm going to shoot it, it's a modern 1911, you know, and it doesn't matter. You got the, what's it, G10 grips or G3 grips, I forget. Those are always great. They always feel really good. The hex screws, you know, the skeletonized trigger and hammer. I think it's an adjustable trigger. I haven't messed with it, but it's pretty nice. A little bitty creep, just a little bit, but it feels good. So, you know, I mean, I have this out here because this is the original 1911 Johns. What we're looking at doing is putting the same beaver tail on it maybe and the same skeletonized trigger and hammer. So we're going to do that after the video. Don't you think that'd be a smart thing to do? I mean, it's made in like 1918. They just didn't get it right, you know? What was John Browning thinking? So that was a joke. We're not going to mess with that gun. But again, I just wanted to bring it out here. It actually was right close, and so we've been using it. I thought, you know, the thing is, some people are still turned off maybe by high-ride beaver tails and Novak-style sights and all that kind of thing on a 1911, angled serrations, and that's all well and good. To me, this old one is the more beautiful firearm. You know, no doubt about it. It really is, but unless that's what you want, a GI version, and if you like the GI version and you really want an authentic GI version, go for it. I think everybody should own one of those, really. It's just like a Colt single action or a Colt clone single action. Everybody ought to have one if you can, all right? But now, if you want one to enjoy more at the range, maybe even carry for defensive or whatever, there's nothing wrong with the modern ones, because one like this especially, it's in a great size and it has some things just make it more shootable. Believe me, if I went to a USPSA match tomorrow with this and shot through both times, I'm pretty sure I'd do better with this one. All right, now that's not to say this one won't work and serve you well. It has for quite a couple of years, right? So anyway, I just want to show you the inside. It's a Series 70. You know, it's got the extended safety, which I don't really need, but you might. Even on the slide lock, I think. It doesn't have the ambi safety, which I like, okay, because it gets in my way, it gets in John's way too. So anyway, this is from Magnum Research, Desert Eagle 1911, bull barrel. You see that big old thick barrel? That way you don't have the bushing. It's got the full-length guide rod, and I hate those things. So I do not own a 1911 with a full-length guide rod, and I dare say I will not, okay? So if this were mine, I'd replace that with the standard bushing and everything. All right, let's shoot the thing. We happen to have some mags loaded. I'll shoot the two that came with it first. I also have some relatively new magazines. I've kind of upgraded my magazines, you know, for when we have a 1911. So they all are fresh springs. So if we have a little trouble with one, it should not be the magazine. All right. So let's take a couple shots. Shoot something. Like that bowling pin and that tank. Oh, what else? It just feels good. I shot a lot of 1911 in my life, and so it's like coming home. It really is. Let's shoot that target. Boom! Bowling pin. Cowboy. Oh yeah, feels good. Don't want to drop a mag in these leaves or we'll lose it for good, won't we? We'll shoot one more mag. We'll shoot one at the gong. How's that? All right. Nice, nice. Yeah, pretty good old gun. I'll tell you what, I think these will be successful, these 1911s. And before I throw any more heavy lead or precious metal down range, I wanted to remind you of someone else who supports us. Appmex.com. Check out the link, 2 links in our description. One for the Hickok 45 favorites page. Look at Homer, drinking on the job. But anyway, great company. Whatever you order, that's what you get. And they just do a good job. It's hard to find anybody who has had bad service from them. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere, you know, they're human. Great company though, and check out their website. Go to our link. So what else? Yeah, I got more mags loaded. I don't have to stay around loading magazines and boring y'all. So I'll just shoot a little bit more. What else about the gun though, before I shoot a little bit more? Mainly I wanted to bring this to your attention. Somebody brought these to my attention. I can't remember who it was, in a gun shop somewhere. I think maybe about a year ago. They were carrying one, and I made a mental note about it because whoever it was, they were really impressed with them for the money, and not only for the money, but just as a great gun, well made. You know, it's machined, and it's almost like a custom gun. It's almost like I guess it's a step down from Dan Wesson. You know, Dan Wesson is a really nice firearm. And the next step up is a, you know, like a Wilson Combat or Ned Brown or something, whatever. But I'll tell you what, man, for around $800, and this comes in different sizes, configurations, finishes, and all that. It's something you want to look at if you're looking at a 1911. I mean, I sound like I'm selling a thing. It just feels good. I love to shoot a 1911. I like to shoot one, especially just, it makes me, I can stand here and shoot all day because with that checkering and the checkering back there and those grips. I like a lot of friction, as you know, if you've been watching for a while. When I grab that thing, it just, oh, it locks in. And of course, on a 1911 with a single action trigger, you got a nice trigger, and this one's not bad at all. It's maybe a tad bit of creep, but it's a nice trigger for right out of the box. And so, you know, they're just fun to shoot. As I say often, you may never want to carry a 1911. You might not even want one for a, you know, a defensive pistol anywhere. Even as a home defense pistol or anything at all like that. But they're a little bit like a single action Colt or something, or U-Birdie or whatever. They're a piece of history, and boy, are they fun to shoot. Okay. And you know what, even though we all know that the 45 is not a sacred bullet necessarily, it ain't bad, but with today's technology, bullet technology, it's not the magic bullet that maybe it was thought to be years ago, but it's a good bullet. So even if you don't ever carry a 45, you carry a 40 or a 9 or a 380 or whatever, they're still fun to shoot, and they don't really kick that much. It's fun. You can quote me on this. It's just fun to sling big bullets sometime, okay? like that Kentucky 2-liter. Let's me shoot the cap off of it, or try to. Well, I figured that's what happened. I just ruined the 2-liter. Woohoo! Eat that, boy. Yeehaw, let's get him swinging. And then stop him from swinging. Yeah, good old 1911. And Commander size is really big enough. You know, I mean, the full size are fine too. Let's see, a bowling pin needs to be. Another bowling pin. Did we hit that hog enough yet? Yeah, this would be a good hog gun. We got more ammo back here. I think that cowboy was just threatening me. I really do. I'll teach him to threaten me. You know what else? I think that red plate on the far hill over there needs to be addressed. All right, what about the other red plate? You get confident, overly confident. Let's try that coffin. Let's try the gong. All right. I get carried away when I have a nice 1911. I'm sorry. I apologize. No, I don't. I don't really apologize. So yeah, pretty nice. I might shoot one more mag here. Let y'all go about your way and go shopping for yourself in 1911. Okay? Yeah, really. Don't totally ignore them. A lot of people put them in this class as a FUD gun or some stupid thing like that. Mostly people with no appreciation for history of firearms. Not everybody. It depends on how you're looking at it. Like, I might not, well, I don't know. Some people might never have one like this, but they'd die for one like that. You know what I mean? The historical piece that it is. Or World War II version of it, or whatever. You know, the thing was around forever, right? So maybe a newer version of it doesn't appeal to you as much. But, you know, you could combine that if you're not going to shoot it a million times. Get you an old USGI, which means a military model of a 1911. They're not cheap. And shoot it some. Just don't wear it out, maybe. Just shoot it occasionally. So we all fall different places on that continuum, on that scale, don't we, the spectrum, for I don't know, shooters, collectors, firearms enthusiasts. We're all a little different. So yeah, really, had to tell you that. I'm a little different, quite different from most humans on the planet. But I love this old 1911 just for what it is and the history of it. But I also like this one for how it feels, or one like it. You know, I mean, you could put a, whatever it is, a Colt or a Springfield or a dozen different ones on the table that are dressed up like this and have the same accessories, and they're all going to feel good and they're going to shoot well. You know, if you got a good trigger, nice beaver tail. The thing you notice the most for you people who are new to these is when you pick one up, is if it has a nice beaver tail like this, a high ride beaver tail, that is one of the most noticeable differences between the two in shooting and feel, just everything, gripping, everything. So 2 more mags, I'll let you go. Okay. Yeah, I bought a bunch of Wilson mags. They tend to be one of the best. They're not the only best. I've never had a malfunction, I think, with an Ed Brown magazine. And I've got a bunch of these now, so try to keep them separate, the ones that are fairly new. And that way, if we're looking at a 1911, I know in the early days I used to say, well, these magazines are pretty old. I don't know whether it's the gun or the magazine. All right. Well, I've hit about everything. So let's just hit it again. Let's just hit it again. Let me come out of the holster. This would be my carry holster if this were my carry gun. All right. All right. I see a lot of steel that needs to be hit. Like right there. I'm going to throw it in the ground, see if I can find it. I'm going to finish up on the hog. I don't like his looks. Okay, that one didn't hold the last or the slide back on the last round, but it didn't malfunction. Depends on how you look at it. Okay, so I'll put that one in this pocket, and remember that, just in case. I'm going to take one of these into combat. Right? So anyway, the Desert Eagle 1911C, commander size, 1911 with a bull barrel, nice 3-dot sights and everything. The one thing about the rear sight is if you're wounded and you got to operate with one hand, you're not going to be able to use that rear slide to work in another round the way it's designed there, if that's important to you. And you don't know whether that's going to be important, do you, until it happens. But anyway, nice pistol. It seems to be a nice pistol. If you have one of the, and they've been out for a few years. I'm always slow, right? We don't get in a big hurry. We reviewed the 1860 Henry, and what were we, John, about 140 years later on that? No, so we don't get in a big hurry, but it's one we haven't done. And have seen enough buzz about it that I thought we'd get one and try it out. So again, our advice is if you're looking for a 1911, more of a newer one, a modern one, you don't want to pay $2,000 for it. This would be one you might want to take a look at. Okay, IMI, or that Magnum Research, or not IMI anymore, I guess, but what IWI, I can't keep track of it. But the Magnum Research, Desert Eagle, the name, and whether you like their firearms or not, they tend to make fairly quality stuff. Okay, so I mean, as a general rule, I'm sure people have trouble with everything, but they generally make quality stuff. So I'll shut up and let you all get back to dinner. I'm glad you came out. It's a beautiful fall day. We're really lucky to have this kind of weather today, and I'm really lucky. I got to fire a 45 ACP on this fine fall day. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. Really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.